And I know
I listen to your show every single day.
Breakfast Club?
God damn it, the Breakfast Club.
Put that ass up on the Breakfast Club.
Tell her, made it.
You can't say Breakfast Club without the Breakfast Club.
You're like this rare air.
You got platforms and partners all over the place because your demand is so high. People want to be in business with the Breakfast Club.
I don't think white people know how popular you guys are.
DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God.
Yeah, you guys really are like the hip hop early morning, late night talk show.
Y'all know what y'all talking about.
It's a new day. This is your time to get it off your chest.
Wake up!
Whether you're mad or blessed.
It's time to get up and get something.
Call up now. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Trey, what up, Trey?
What up, man?
Get it off your chest, brother.
Bro, I got this little girlfriend of mine. She be clocking me like she my mother. She always think I'm trying to cheat when I'm just going to the store or something. Like,
Well, first of all, you can't curse. And second of all, did you cheat before?
yeah, I cheated before.
Oh, come on.
I tell you what else, too. That little girlfriend of yours is a big girlfriend to somebody else.
Whoa.
You better stop it.
Oh, what? Nah, chill.
You can't talk. You can't talk about it like that, though. You say your little girlfriend. That ain't what you mean. That's what I say to you when I'm trying to insult you. I see you with your little girlfriend. How you gonna say that about yourself?
That's a fact. You right. But still, though, like, she just be always clocking me, accusing me of cheating when I'm literally trying to be faithful. Like, she gonna push me to go cheat
Because
again.
you cheated twice, so she got to watch you, obviously.
It's not
That's
that
a
hard,
fact,
sir.
but that's back in the day, though, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not that hard, sir.
No, not at all.
You violated her trust.
It's not, and I've been trying to make that trust up, but she just keep on going with it. Like, you gonna forgive me and be with me, or you gonna keep on accusing me? Like, which one we doing? And
Not
she
if you
just
keep
out
talking
here
like
saying,
that. You ain't even give a chance to heal. You cheated twice. And then she asks you questions. You like, just get over it? That ain't gonna work.
Nah, I be trying to be reasonable with it. Like, I get why you accusing me. I get why you feeling how you feel. But at the end of the day, you chose to get back with me.
Trey,
So,
when's the last time you cheated, Trey?
Like 5 months ago.
He said mad long ago.
Hey, man, Trey, have a blessed day, Trey. Have a blessed day. Nobody got time
Yo, it
for
was
this,
mad long ago. How long?
5 months. Like, knock it off, Trey.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, who's this?
Hey, good morning. It's Tasha from Brooklyn.
Hey, Tasha from Brooklyn. Get it off your chest.
So I just want to say how upset I am about the maternity leave here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a baby in July, and I'm expected to go back to work after 12 weeks, and it sucks. You know, it's not enough bonding time that we get with our children.
How long is it?
It's only 12 weeks. It's literally 3 months. So my daughter just turned 3 months, and I'm expected to return to work already after 3 months. So they only pay you for 12 weeks. You can stay out longer, but it'll be without pay. So I'm not returning to work until next year. So all of this time will be without pay.
How long would you want it?
Other countries. Well, I'm going to take. So you have job security for up to a year. Since I work for the city, my position is safe for up to a year. But after the 12 weeks, I won't get paid. So I decided I'll just take 6 months. It gives me a little bit more time to bond with her and her to get to just know her environment before I put her like with a babysitter.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is I have 2 older children, and I had my 17-year-old daughter when I was really young, and I went back to work a week later, you know, just not even recognizing or realizing how important it is to bond with your kid in these, you know, first couple of months. But I think we could do better. It's so much policies that could be put into place, especially for Black women. And the maternal rate is so high. The death maternal rate is so high. Yes, I just wanted to throw that out there.
See, I see both sides because I understand you want to bond with the kids, and that's very, especially the first year, is very well needed. But also, I'm from a workplace. I mean, they got to pay somebody. They can't continue to pay you for a full year and not have somebody fill that position, you know? So I see both sides, you know? Or maybe if you're allowed to work at home, where that way you can still spend time with your baby at home and you can do a little work at home, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in some positions where you can stay at home. My position, you can't do that. I need to be in the office.
Got you.
But it's not even actually called maternity leave. It's called FMLA, like Family Medical Administrative Leave. So if that's the case, I think like something could be figured out, you know?
All right, well, enjoy that baby. Love that baby. They get big so damn fast.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
What's the baby's name?
Her name is Shiloh. Shout out to my baby Shiloh. Shout out to Nyla. Shout out to Anthony. Those are my kids. Shout out to my husband O'Neal. Shout out to you guys. Y'all so dope. Charlamagne, you my mans and them. Envy, you my mans and them. I love y'all.
Thank you, back. Queen. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Get it up. This is your time to get it off your chest.
Keep calling.
800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, Derek.
Hey, Derek, what up? Get it off your chest.
Hey, I got something on my chest, man. I want to talk about the price of a good man.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't know a good man that doesn't have an empty wallet and a broken back. But now you get you a bad man. They got a pocket full of money and they dating.
That sounds like me. I'm not bad.
Well, hey, I'm just saying, you beating the odds, but you don't hear about good women anymore.
That's not true.
So what's your definition of a good woman? You just told us a definition of a good man. What's a good woman to you?
A good woman is the old days, the old school women, the ones that take care of the home, take care of, women don't wash dishes no more. They don't clean the house no more. They don't do none of those things.
That's not true. I'm going to tell you something, man. I got a plethora of amazing sisters around me that do both. They know how to navigate in the corporate world and get their money, and they know how to be domesticated at home. And they always ask me to hook them up with people, and I be like, no, because I don't know no brothers that I feel like are worthy. And I don't even like to get involved in my friends' relationships like that.
Well, what generation are they in?
Late 30s, mid
35 to 45.
Yeah.
But the new generation got dishwashers. Do y'all really want women washing dishes?
That's true, too.
I mean, I don't want to walk by see anybody washing dishes. Put them in the dishwasher. Keep it pushing.
That's true, too.
Well, I'm just saying, I've been married for 25 years, and I've been, a good man, and I tell you what, every bone in my body's hurt.
Damn. Well, Derek, you need to get an aspirin in the dishwasher, bro.
But at the same time, you say that's the 30-year-old. Well, you don't realize it until you're about 40 or 50. That's when everything starts hurting and you start noticing that your wallet's empty.
Yeah, that's just age, though, bro.
Mm-hmm. Well, and after 25 years of marriage, if every bone in your body is hurting, she's still doing her job.
But I'm
your bones are hurting because you're doing everything around the house and you're doing all the work.
You have a particular age. You missed the bone joke. You missed the bone joke.
Oh, man, I missed the bone joke.
Yeah, he was talking about the other bone, bro. But does that bone still work? That's all that matters.
Oh, man, that's the thing about it. It works better than my back.
Well, you better be happy because there's a lot of brothers out there in their 40s that bones don't work, bro.
But also, brothers know that everything stops once you get married. After about 15 years.
What's wrong with you? You just missed the negative this morning, bro.
No, I'm wise, and in a good mood.
All right. Well, you have a good one, Mr. Good Mood.
And I'm a Pisces. And, we know people.
Okay.
All astrological signs know people.
Okay.
I'm the only astrological sign that knows some people.
He said he's having a great day. All right. Hello, who's this?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Twan.
Twan, what up? Get it off your chest, Twan.
Yo, so, man, I'm just wanted to say that, first of all, I'm glad that I finally got through. I've been a fan of y'all for the longest time. But now I'm headed to work, and these truck drivers trying to run me off the road.
They trying to run you off the road. I'm going to be honest with you. Truck drivers be driving like they just pushing around Hondas nowadays. I don't know who told truck drivers that they got electric cars, but they don't. They still got big Mack trucks, and they need to drive as such.
That's what I'm saying, man. Let me get a lane.
Let me get a lane.
Yeah, they ridiculous. I'm not going to front. Truck drivers are very, very ridiculous nowadays. Even the way they cut over in the lanes now, they act like they have cars. It's weird.
But move out the goddamn way.
Give me a blinker or something.
Give me a blink or something. And salute to all the truck drivers out there, man. Y'all be safe out there as well, man. But, yeah, some of them do be disrespectful. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man.
Have a good one, brother. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Everybody, it's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Jamil Hill, welcome back.
Hey, I always love to sit with y'all. Enjoy the conversations.
That's right, and the paperback is out right now.
It is, yeah. My baby is growed up a little bit. It's now a toddler, I guess. So a year ago, the hardcover of my memoir, Uphill, came out, and now the paperback.
How was the response to putting out a memoir? Because, in memoirs, you put out so much information, you reveal things you probably never told anybody. What was the response? Not just from the general public, but from your family and stuff.
The response was generally good. It was mostly positive. There was somebody in my family who took issue with it. And that created some tension, and the tension is still there, unfortunately. And so, I'm still processing that part.
Did you not have a conversation before?
We did have a conversation before, but I just didn't think how they reacted to it would be the way they reacted. And they took it to Facebook as opposed to taking it to me.
That's usually how it happens nowadays.
Yeah, and then they aired out stuff that was not even in the book. And it was like, why?
And probably stuff that wasn't true.
Some of it was definitely, I looked at very skeptically. And it wasn't about me. It was about my mom, to be candid. And so I was not happy that was the course of action that they chose. And so it caused a fracture in our relationship.
Oh, I know the feeling. After I put in my first book, it was the same thing. And family members, I can't write a book, but I can go to Facebook.
Right, exactly. And especially, it's not like this person couldn't have called me. Like, they could have, and we could have had a conversation about it. And I guess the surprising part, they didn't take issue with what was written as in terms of like it not being true. The issue was when we finally did have that discussion was that they weren't in it enough. So that really...
So they wanted their side out there. Or
they just felt like they should have been... that their role in my life should have been more highlighted or more. And I thought I did a pretty good job of it as it was, but apparently it was not on par with this person. And so
Was their role in your life as big as they actually thought it was?
Well, I mean, I guess if you want me to say what it is, because I see you're getting to, but it was my father who had an issue with it. Yeah, so it was my father had an issue with some of the things that were in the book, not necessarily because they were untrue, but he felt like he should have been more prominently featured in the book. That was what I got from it. And so it was a very difficult conversation to have. And so those conversations have been somewhat ongoing. And I told him I needed to kind of press pause because I need to process what you said to me because I took a lot of issue with it.
Now, what do you think a second Jemele Hill book would be about?
Well, there will be another Jemele Hill book, and it is much like this memoir of something I didn't expect to write, but the second book will be a children's book.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm writing a children's book, and it will cover some parts of Uphill, like just kind of, how I was able to overcome some adversity and some of the more positive career stuff. Like some of that will be part of it. But generally speaking, it will be sort of like my love letter to a lot of the women whose stories haven't been told, a lot of the women who I've admired. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I've never written for a children's audience before. So this will be quite a challenge. It'll be the opposite almost from a memoir because you're pouring everything into this book. And, it's like 250, 300 pages in a children's book. You have to be quite concise and you have to make sure that they understand the general themes that you're trying to.
What is it going to be about? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a combination of my story and the stories of women whose stories need to be told and, women I've admired. So, yeah, some of them famous, some of them not as famous as others. I mean, I'm trying to really unearth and tell the stories of some women who probably didn't get the flowers that they deserved.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, we just had Offset up here, and you had some words about his interview with, how you pronounce his name? Bobby
Altoff.
Altoff?
Yeah,
Altoff?
the podcaster.
And you said you feel like this is erasing real hip-hop journalism.
Yeah, I do. I mean, listen, I admit I'm spoiled. It's like when hip hop was really coming into its own and growing, that's when you had Vibe, you had Kevin Powell and Dream Hampton and Danielle Smith. And there was like a real hip hop journalism sort of movement there that covered the culture, that covered these artists, tried to tell the full 360 dimensions of their stories. And as you know, mainstream media wasn't messing with hip hop like that. They weren't telling these stories. And so now it's just interesting to me, the platforms they wind up on. Like, look at Sexy Red. Like, why was she on that podcast? For what? With Theo Vaughn. Like that, does that seem like the type of podcast that you would expect Sexy Red to be on? Probably not.
I don't know, because Theo Vaughn's interesting.
Yeah, he is.
He had Funny Marco on there one time. He was talking about how sexy I was.
That's all Charlamagne cares about. The fact that man called him sexy. That's all Charlamagne cares about.
Theo Vaughn. Oh, really?
It was like a whole 5-minute thing.
Been blushing
he was talking about how beautiful I am.
Not blushing.
I think he's such a beautiful man. He was like, I'm like,
look at him. He's blushing now. Look at him.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look. A compliment is a compliment. I was flattered. I was like, wow.
Not blushing, dog. He's so silly.
Charlamagne take him on a date.
He said, I got lady features. I promise you. That's what he was saying.
Look, he remembers every last detail.
I do. But so I don't know what Theo's angle is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's had an eclectic group of guests, so I guess maybe from that standpoint you could say that she fits, but it's just when I watch that interaction, and I get it, I know what her shtick is. A lot of it, as many people say, like she clearly borrowed some of this from Funny Marco, who I actually think does it pretty well.
He does.
Yeah, like he's got a good thing going. And her, I guess looking at her rise, it was kind of curious to me. Like her podcast has not been in existence for that long. I think the way the story was told was like Drake saw her on
TikTok, I think.
Yeah, on TikTok, but she was with Funny Marco. I think that's the interview that he saw. At least that's sort of what's been reported and out there. And then he just up and decided, hey, I'm gonna just go on this random podcast, which he has every right to do. But when I look about who are the caretakers of hip hop, the caretakers of how this culture is covered, it's us. For the most part. That's not to say that Offset can't do interviews with people outside the culture, but I notice how those interviews are received and for that matter, how they're treated on those interviews. And it makes me concerned overall. Honestly, I know a ton of black journalists who could use that kind of boost. And to me, especially given we see the danger of when our stories aren't told and they're trying to erase our stories in real time, I would like to see artists like him, artists like Drake, other black artists in general be more intentional about the type of media that they try to do. Right? Like that's why Breakfast Club has the status and the stature that it does, because this is a place that has been established for the culture. And it would be nice if some of these artists understood that there's something larger at play than just going viral.
All right, well, don't go anywhere. We got more with Jamil Hill. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it. Very insightful with Jamil Hill this morning. Charlamagne?
I do miss your sports takes, Jamel.
Do you?
I talk about this all the time.
And you know what? Let me tell you this, Charlamagne. I think you should give me credit because it took a lot for me to resist texting you the day my 49ers just put just beat the brakes off of y'all.
Why not?
Because I knew this was coming and I would see him in person and I'd rather say it to him in person.
If I had your number, I would have called you that day. I would have put you on that screen just for 5 minutes to be like, do you have something to say? When the 49ers washed them Cowboys.
I'm happy to see a white quarterback do that to a black quarterback. Why are you so happy to see that, Jamel? Huh?
It ain't Black History Month. What are we talking about? Like, what? Hey, dog, I was just like...
Nah, that was bad.
Yeah, no, we a problem. But we a problem for most of the league.
We knew that, though.
We knew that,
yeah,
right? But we a problem for Dallas specifically, And so when I saw the final score, because I missed most of the game because I had some other things to do, but I knew we were going to win. I just didn't think it was going to be like that.
No, that was bad.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Charlamagne some privacy, some thoughts and prayers, and then when I see him in person, I'll be like, "You boys." No,
that was demoralizing. The first 2 weeks, I'm like, "Yeah, we going to the Super Bowl." Even though I say that every year.
Yeah.
Even with the loss of the Cardinals, that's nothing.
Right.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
But now
back against New England. We're going to the Super Bowl. This week, I'm like,
his daddy texted him and said, "Charlamagne, we really going to the Super Bowl. Buy your tickets."
Y'all, it's just the belief is so hard.
That's been a different conversation.
Okay.
Hey, this is depressing. Let's go back to one other topic.
Okay.
Theo Von and Sexy Red.
All right.
We brought it up a couple times. What about that interview is so upsetting? Like, there's no need to beat up on her. It's Sexy Red.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anybody was rushing to hear, what her political takes were. But the problem with is like the misinformation. It wasn't that she gave her political take. She's allowed to give her political take. She could have said, I supported Trump and listed off the reasons that actually made a little bit more sense. She could have said that because it's her right to have that opinion. But it's the misinformation that is what I see as to be more dangerous when you have that kind of platform. Because like it or not, people are going to listen to her. And even though, she talking about they love Trump in the hood, I was like, well, polls don't really show that, but that's okay. Go ahead, go off. And so I took the opportunity, to your point. I saw it as a teachable moment because, as you said, there are some people who do say the same things. Let's deal with what's being said. Even though Donald Trump's name were on that stimulus check, the money did not come from him. It didn't come right out of his bank account. It was passed by Congress people. And that's a part of the general collective ignorance that we have. A lot of us don't know how government works. There's no shame in that because it is a complicated system, but we have to understand how legislation is passed, how policies are made, knowing the right person to be mad at. Because a lot of the things that people are mad at, inflation, other things, I was like, the president doesn't have a whole lot to do with that. And we're in a huge age of corporate greed like we've never seen before. And I wish that we had a better handle on who to blame because then that would help us better strategize.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But you know what I tell tell the hood. I'd just be like, Biden gave out stimmies too.
Was his name on it though?
He didn't put his name on it.
But that was brilliant though. I was like,
that's it.
I mean, no president in history has ever done that. He was like, no. The checks got held up because he was like, no, I'm gonna need that Donald J. Trump on it.
Because he knew the lasting impact that would have. But you're right. Biden, Trump signed it in twice.
Yeah.
Biden signed it in once.
Right.
So Biden gave out stimmies too.
He did.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you get the sexy reds and all that.
It is, and unfortunately, the other part of it is that the amount of media machinery behind the right wing, there's no Democratic equivalent. I hope somebody in her camp or somebody, period, pulled her aside and said, hey, here are the issues. If you're going to speak about these, and if you're going to take a pro-Trump position, at least if you're going to take one that is a little more informative than the one that
know
you
your
had.
facts. That's right.
Yeah, know your facts.
And people just like to be entertained nowadays too. I bet you sex rate not registered to vote.
I mean, that would have been like a great follow-up to be like, oh, so
are you registered to vote?
Are you registered to vote? Do you plan to vote for him in the next election?
Right.
That would have been something to bring up with her. But I guarantee that might be the last political question she answers for quite some time.
One more question. You still think Nikki Haley's racist? Did I say that wrong? But there was a reason for it.
Yeah, I know why you said that.
You said you thought she was racist for not wanting Vice President Harris to be president.
So it's not that. Because, again, like in politics, you're not going to agree with who needs to be the leader. It's not the general disagreement, and I think people took it that way. I'm not calling her a flat-out racist, but what I will say is that she's very comfortable using racist dog whistles to further and advance her political position.
I feel like the biggest opposition Vice President Harris is going to face is going to come from in her own party.
Yes, I agree.
I think that there's people in her party right now who don't want her to be vice president. Because did you see the article that came out yesterday in the New York Times?
And it's the hit pieces that are done on her. It's just I get it, but I don't get it.
Like I had to go Google and see, well, what did she do? Like I was like, it just came out of nowhere. This long ass hit piece.
And even some of us who are just like, well, what is she doing? Where is she been? Like she literally speaks every day, guys. Like I don't know what to tell y'all. Like you're like, where is she? I'm like, because I'm on the mailing list. I get her schedule practically every day. Like she's always doing a lot of things. Like I know right now she's on a college tour, but no, that like she's been subjected to a lot of hit pieces, and you could tell they're hit pieces because of some of the things they say about her.
And you can tell they're from within.
And you can tell they're from within. It's like because I think in that is this the article that mentioned how much time she spends on her hair.
On her hair.
Like,
crazy.
Are you serious? Like that's what we doing? On her hair. Like she's a black woman. I bet she is going to spend some time on her hair because the moment she doesn't look presentable, guess what the conversation is going to be about the vice president? So it's like she's damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. Like she's caught in a really tight position, and I feel like it's really neutering what I think makes her such a strong politician. And like it or not, Joe Biden would not have gotten elected without her. He would not have. She was the strongest, I think, person for him to run with. I mean, listen, do you feel like that there's another viable VP that will get?
No, I don't think that.
Exactly.
I don't think the Democrats have no bench, period.
No, it's thin.
Yeah.
It's thin. Like when you look at who could have run with it.
Just be clear. He said bench. Bench. No bench, clearly. Say bench.
Bench. I said they don't have no bench. The hard end. They ain't got no bench. They ain't got no benches.
They ain't got no benches. Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Uphill, a memoir. The paperback is out right now.
Guys.
We appreciate you for joining us. And it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is our special guest co-host.
Yes, indeed.
Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about taking your wife's last name. Now, this story comes from where, Lauren?
So this story comes from the NFL star Ricky Williams.
Former NFL star.
Former NFL star.
Yep.
He decided to legally change his last name to his wife's last name. And he said that this is something that he'd been thinking about for some time now. And it actually done, but hadn't mentioned it. And as to why, he said he did it because he wanted to create more balance in his marriage. His wife is a very established and successful attorney, he says, but he often gets more attention due to his NFL career. So he thought that this would, help to create the balance. It's something that he considered after taking an astrology relationship class, I guess. Okay. See, I told y'all signs matter.
All right, so the question is 800-585-1051. Would you take your wife's last name? Now, Charlamagne, you said you would hyphen the name.
Yeah, I would hyphen it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't change it completely. I have 4 daughters, and I want my daughters to keep our last name because, I don't have any sons, so I want it to be hyphenated. That's how my wife's name is. My wife's name is her last name and my last name because her father don't have no sons. So yeah, to keep the last name alive, I would do the hyphenate thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wouldn't change my name completely.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't do that. My lineage and my ancestors matter too. I wouldn't change my name completely.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't change mine at all. I'm an only child, and my wife has 2 brothers, so yeah, no, I wouldn't change mine. Lauren, would you want your husband to change his name to your name?
No, I want to take his last name.
You want to take his last name?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm just. It's so weird because I'm not traditional at all. But that is, I don't know. It's just something you look forward to as like a woman. Like for me anyway, not for all women, for me. But I thought it was interesting too. He said that he didn't really care about the change either because the last name was Williams is not even his real last name. The guy, I guess, that was married to his grandmother that took care of the family isn't his real, isn't his biological dad. So. That changes it too because the lineage is not really even there because it's not his dad.
And I wonder where it shifted for us too. Because remember, it was a time where especially if you study Islam or the 5% teachers of Islam, the last name was a slave name, so that's why people would change their name to X or Muhammad or Farrakhan. So I wonder where we got to the point where we was like, nah, we're gonna represent our last names, even if they are from our slave owners.
Because Casey, I don't think it came from black name or
Casey
McKelvey.
Sound like yeah.
No, duh. Those are
I'm saying like it just
clearly that was our slave owner names. But I'm just saying, I wonder when we started to claim those and say, nah, this is our last name. I kind of feel
when
like
people got woke.
I don't know if it was when people got woke. I think when Dame Dash would say, "Hustle for your last name, not your first." Like that matters. That is our names.
Right.
At the end of the day. So like I said, I wouldn't change my last name, but you never know what you'll do. Both names.
But I asked a couple of the men behind the scenes, and I asked them if they would do it, and they said no. But then I said if it was somebody that was financially secure, like an Oprah Winfrey or one of those, would they change the name? They all said yes.
I hate that for y'all because even if she wasn't financially secure, if you love her, and that's what would make.
I'm just telling you what they
told me.
told
started.
me.
You know they said I hate men, so don't get me started.
You do.
You do.
Okay.
Hello, who's this?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. This is Dr. Brian Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning. Would you change your last name to your wife's last name?
Yeah, I would. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see an issue with it because, just like Charlamagne said, he doesn't have any daughters and everybody wants a legacy. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't think it's fair that, it's an automatic thing that the woman gets to take my last name. What's wrong with having it, the other way around? It should be okay.
So hold on, you would change it completely?
Yeah, what's the big deal? Yeah, my last name is Brian Thomas Kardashian. Absolutely. What's the difference?
Yeah, I'm a Pinkett Smith Winfrey Knowles Carter, so I understand.
Brad, hello?
Hello?
Hey, Brad.
I was saying,
Man, I know you ain't calling us from the toilet, man.
Asked me to.
You calling us from the toilet?
Because there's only
Hey.
No.
Why you sound like that?
Bluetooth, I guess.
Okay, all right, continue. I'm sorry.
So you would change your last name to your wife's last name?
I would be down, not that she'd ever ask that, but because her last name is so unique that there's only a handful of people that have it in all of the U.S.
What's her last name?
I kind of don't want to say it. It's not bad or anything like that, just,
What is it, bro?
You don't want to put her out there. I understand
then why
that,
call
brother.
and say it's unique? You're not gonna tell us what the unique name is.
Well, because of the unique perspective. You know what I'm saying? The fact that most guys wouldn't have to worry about that because a lot of people have common last names and hers isn't. But because it's not common, I don't want to put her out there.
Got you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Yeah, too.
That would have been so much better if he just said the name.
Just said the name. Quentin, what up?
What's up, man?
What's up? Would you take your wife's last name?
Nah, man, that ain't no manly duty right there. Take the woman's last name, man. That's what she married. You got to be the man of the relationship.
You're not the man if the name is not if she doesn't take your last name. Aren't you still the man?
No, I'm not taking her name. Now, if she got a bunch of money, I'll take her name.
Yo, shut up, man.
It's so crazy to me how.
Can I say it's funny to me, Lauren, when people say you're not a man if you take the woman's last name.
But if she got some money,
if the woman got money, it's okay to take. That makes you a bird brain. You a bird.
But if I sat up here and say anything about a man with money and what I would do because the man got money, I am I have no morals.
They call you a bird.
Oh my God.
By the way, for all guys who say that, hey, if the girl got money, I'll take her last name. You a city girl.
Definitely a city girl.
But y'all mad when we bumping City Girls and the Sexy Reds and see, I don't hate nobody. I'm just calling out double standards all the time. Y'all be mad at me.
Mason.
You know what up? What up?
Now it says that your wife wants you to do that right now. Take her last name.
Not my wife, my fiance. We about in the process of getting married.
Okay.
Yeah, she wants to change the narrative. She wants me to take her last name. But I'm pretty old school, man. I'm not for that. But I do get her point of view. Because her father was a single father.
Mm-hmm.
So her last name would die out with her because he only had 2 girls. So I do understand her point of view, but I can't do that, man.
Why doesn't she
walk around my wife's last name?
Why doesn't she just hyphenate her last name? And then when y'all have kids,
I'm old school. I ain't for that hyphenating.
no, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying why doesn't she hyphenate, y'all last names, and then when y'all have kids, the kids have the hyphenated last name.
She wants to hyphenate it, but I don't see the purpose in hyphenating. Who has 2 last names? It's like walking around with 2 first names.
That's not true.
People have 2 last names, especially if they fly.
Yeah, a lot of people have.
I know they have 2 last names, but I mean, come on, we getting married. I mean, like I said, I'm old school. I see my grandfather do it. My grandmother took 2 last names.
Y'all got kids?
My mother took. Nah, not yet.
Yeah, I hope you have all girls. I hope you have all girls.
That's not a bad thing, though.
I hope you have all girls. So when those girls get married to another guy, you'll understand why it's important to hyphenate the last name.
Ain't nothing wrong with all girls.
Nothing wrong with all girls.
You might lose that last name, though.
What's that?
You might lose that last name because if they get married and want to stay traditional and take their man's last name, like their, the household they're raised in with their father.
That's something that's gonna have to be decided when they get married.
Oh my God! But you can just change tradition now, you idiot.
KP,
what's wrong with people, man? Change tradition now.
KP.
Yeah, what's up, David?
Would you take your wife's last name?
It depends on which name adds more value to the family, man. Okay. Like, traditionally, the man's last name is going to be worth more than the wife's last name, whatever the case is. But, if, like you pointed out, if Oprah Winfrey wants me to take her last name, the Winfrey last name means more than the Pierce last name. Let's carry that legacy on.
What's the tradition?
And then also, if, like, for instance, Ricky Williams' last name carried a whole bunch of weight as far as, like, his daddy left him with emotional trauma and stuff like that, he might not want to leave that legacy to his kids. So he might want to, add the value of the wife's family name on. So, me personally, my wife got my last name, but if hers would have been worth more than mine, I would have been a hawk.
What's the traditional rule that says that the man's last name carries more weight than the woman? Did I miss that rule?
The traditional rule, what I'm saying is traditional. Whenever we go back to old school marriages and stuff, the man brought something to the table and said, hey, I'm adding value to this. I'm not saying there's a rule, but I'm saying traditionally that's why the man's last name was taken, because you're saying, hey, I'm bringing your daughter over here and joining her to this family, and this family is adding value to you.
Okay.
All right, brother. Well, what's the moral of the story, guys?
I mean, the moral of the story is you got to do what works for you. I already told y'all. I got 4 beautiful daughters, so I want them to hyphenate their last names when they choose to get married a long time from now, because I want my last name to continue to live on. And I think most fathers who have daughters want that.
Okay.
My wife, that's what my wife did. So I don't have a problem with that. As far as changing my last name completely, no. I want to honor my family just like, that person wants their family honored.
All right. This is The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Nah, this is special.
Yes, Jada Pinkett Smith. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good.
You glowing.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Even
in the chaos.
Even in the chaos. Life is chaos.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? So you just get in harmony with that.
That's interesting you say that, because I always be wondering, like, are we ever going to find peace on this planet, or do we just exist within the chaos? The chaos is normal.
Yeah, I think, just in my journey, I've just been discovering that you kind of have to just rise above it, right? Because the world is going to be what it's going to be, right? I actually think that the world is a university, you know, to teach us how to transcend it. Yeah. And so, yeah, you got to make peace with what this world is about. But I don't think that this place is our sanctuary. I actually think, you know, ascending it and going into more of the spiritual places, you know, and just kind of understanding, living your life from there within the world. I mean, that's what they say, you know, be in it, but not of it.
You ever get tired of it though? Because you've been on this tour for a while, and you're very big on energy and vibrations, and sometimes I'm sure the energy and vibrations have been all over the place. But it seems like you've been on tour, for a long time. You ever get tired of it? Like, all right, now enough's enough now.
I think that if I put myself in that frame of mind, and I just bring myself a level of discomfort that's not necessary, right? You just go, it is what it is. So how are you going to step up to the moment? And that's it, you know? That's just what it is. And so that's where I find my peace.
Since the release of this book, what is your ego been telling you?
My ego has been telling me to let go, because it takes a lot of courage to sit in your truth. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be happy when you're walking through the world and you're dismantling ideas. You know, you kind of have to, in that dismantle, you just kind of have to let go of everything that you thought you were, everything that you're trying to be, and just flow, right? Just let whatever is presenting itself just kind of be what it is, you know, but you definitely got to let go. So it's been a real test in regards to trust, you know. I just can't trust the ego in that way anymore. But you know, that's a process. So as I'm so you go from one ego state to the next, right? So it just gets smaller, I guess, you know, but the ego is always going to be there.
Always.
So, you know, you just kind of learn how to make friends with your ego and have it work for you in a different way for a different purpose. Right? So that's what I'm working with right now.
Has this truth helped your relationship with friends, family, and even your marriage? Has this truth and all the things that came out, or did it make things worse?
Oh no. See, I didn't step into this walk until my situation with my friends, my family, and specifically Will was tight. Right? Because I already knew how disruptive it was going to be. So I had to make sure that my inner circle was tight, right? So that we could walk this together hand in hand, right? So it's actually, you know, specifically for Will and I, it's definitely brought us closer. It's so funny how crisis will do that.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
when you love somebody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about Will and I, is just like we just learn more and more as we go that this is what we were built to do, you know, with each other, you know, and to walk together. And, you know, just like any long-term relationship, it goes through its
of course,
you know, and so you gotta take your time. I really had to grow emotionally. I hadn't realized how emotionally immature I was. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing about long-term relationships that are fantastic if you can just hang in there, because it's going to force you to step your game up if you want to be happy, you know? And so Will's been one of my greatest teachers on my journey, you know, because I've been forced to have to deal with my stuff, you know?
What stuff? Because you said you're immature. What immaturity do you see when you look at yourself?
Well, I would say, you know, about 7 years ago, just when you're just hanging on to these romantic ideas of what marriage should be, what your partner should be for you, so that you don't have to be the thing for yourself. Like when you keep banging on somebody like, no, I need you to show up this way because I need to feel a certain way about myself, right? That in itself is just like, hold up. You want somebody else to be something for you that you're not willing to be for yourself? First of all, how do you call that love? you know, and I had to like step away to really realize that, you know. And so me getting myself in alignment and just realizing like, yo, Jada, you got a lot of work to do, and then doing that work and then being able to present myself with more of myself, and then being able to see Will as who he is and just accept him and love him there.
That's what I think gets lost, you know, in the book if you haven't read the book.
Right.
Like, do you think all the combos about Tupac and Will distracted from what this book really has to offer? Because I do.
Yeah. And I knew that. I knew it was going to be a lot of distractions, right? And I was like, hopefully this book will have legs so that once all of the, you know, the chatter dies down, we can get to the real components of the book. Now, people who've actually read the book are on it, right? They see that. So,
It's a journey of healing.
It's a journey of healing.
It's a journey of somebody trying to find their worthiness, which is, you know, all of us have struggled with that. Imposter syndrome, not feeling worthy.
Yeah.
If you read the book, you see somebody really laying it out in detail, the journey to get to that place of worthiness.
And it's a universal struggle. You know, we all do it in different ways, right? But it's a universal struggle. And so, yeah, that's I really wanted to lay that out in the way that I did, especially once again, just dismantling these ideas of perfection, you know, because we also have these societal romantic ideas of what somebody in my position, what my life should look like, who I should be within it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no. Like, real life is real life, no matter what station you're sitting at, period. You know?
Do you regret leading with a lot of that stuff?
Leading with a lot of...
The to talk about Will, to talk about Pac, because, you know, those just became sound bites and headlines on the internet, clips. You regret leading with that?
You know, it's so difficult because when you're dealing with media, that's what people want to attach to. People not interested. You know, that's not the clickbait, the journey part of it. The clickbait is, you know, the Tupac, the Will, the you know, so you got to kind of get past the clickbait where people get exhausted with that, and that dies down, and then people can get with the real. But it's hard to avoid it, honestly. It's hard to avoid it.
All right, we got more with Jada Pinkett Smith. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Yep, we're back. It's the Breakfast Club. DJ NV Charlamagne the God, and we're still kicking it with Jada Pinkett Smith. Her book Worthy is out right now. We look at your life and we see the wedding, we see the trips, we see all of that. When did you realize and say, I need to fix this because this isn't right with me? What was that moment?
I would say that I got slammed up against a wall probably when I was really confronted with some really heavy suicidal thoughts. When I was looking for cliffs to drive over, you know, so that my suicide would look like an accident, so my kids wouldn't think that I committed suicide. I did a plant medicine journey.
Ayahuasca.
I
can't wait.
Let me know when. I got you. And that was a real awakening for me. You know, when I really had to be confronted with my own shadow, my own self-hatred. And it was so strong and it was so scary. I was like, whoa. I didn't even want to be with that. And I'm like, asking somebody else to contend with that? That was the first moment that I realized, oh, Jada, you got some stuff to deal with.
And what got you to that point? Because most people would look on the outside and be like, you know, she's rich, she's a movie star, she's dating another movie star, she has beautiful kids, your mom is still there. Like, it looks like to the outside, the life is perfect. So what in that perfect life on the outside made you feel imperfect or made you not feel like this is what I want?
It was like dealing with the foundational wounds. Right, I hadn't dealt with, and that's what most of us don't even know what our foundational wounds are. We don't even know we're foundationally wounded, right? And so it started in childhood. You know, you got two parents who are addicts, and you're not the priority, right? And then just the levels and just the trauma that gets built upon what that environment is like, right? And I thought that making it would heal it all. You know, success takes care of everything, right? And then it was like, okay, Made it to Hollywood. That's not it. And then I met this fantastic guy, and I was on this whirlwind of romance with Will, and I was like, he's gonna fix it. You know what I'm saying? He is the knight in shining armor.
The savior prince.
He's the savior prince. He's gonna fix it. So it went from one false belief to the next, and I talk about trying to check all the boxes. It's like, checked all the boxes. What is left? Right? And then having to realize, oh man, yeah, you're not dealing with your stuff. That's what's left. So it just goes to show that we can have all of these exterior things, you know, but that's not the thing that's going to heal the soul.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, when we used to watch Red Table Talk, people would be like, who is Jada Pinkett? Yeah, take off the drug dealer coat, Jada.
Is that a drug dealer coat?
Giving drug dealer energy. I never, when I read that in the book, I was like, Jada Pinkett Smith was in the streets like that. But when you walked in, I'm like, oh, I see it. I see a little kingpin.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just trying to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
You see how you threw kingpin on you? Ain't even throw a little bit. Kingpin on you.
I see it.
Man, sorry about that.
But when people used to watch Red Table Talk, they used to be like, why is Jada Pinkett Smith an expert at anything? But in the book, you refer to yourself as, you say you're a pseudo guru.
Yeah.
You said it's in the Feeling the Rain chapter that you seem to often set yourself up to fall off the edge of high and mightydom.
Yeah.
But you admit at the time you didn't know.
Yes.
Like, why talk to yourself like that?
Well, because it's the truth.
Damn.
You know, and I think that when we're really on that game of healing, like, the person that you got to be the most honest with is yourself.
That's right.
And a lot of times that could be the most difficult, when you really got to look at yourself and realize, you know, where you thought you were something and now you realize that you ain't, you know? And so, yeah, you just got to learn how to be deeply honest with yourself. And as I talk to myself that way, I can also hug myself in saying that, you know?
Now, you talk about love so much, and you talk about how you felt. At one time, you were against marriage, right?
Yeah.
Is that because you seen your parents and their relationship?
That was.
And what changed your mind?
Yeah, I think that was really like, I got to see my grandparents, who both sets of grandparents had a really long-lasting marriage. But I wasn't quite sure that it was the pinnacle of happiness. And so, you know, when you're young, you're a free spirit, and I'm just like, no, I can do this different. Like, because I want to be happy. I'm not quite sure that's what happy is. Like, how can I be in a relationship and be happy? You know, I was all about the devotion of it, but I wasn't quite sure that marriage was the thing, right? It wasn't until maybe 3 years ago.
3 years ago? You've been married all this time, and it wasn't the 3 years ago.
Another headline.
You were married
there you go.
all this time.
Jada Pinkett Smith says he wasn't happy until 3 years ago.
No, not that I wasn't happy.
Okay.
Not that I wasn't happy, but I got to see the power of marriage.
3 years ago.
I got to see the
you
power.
Like the vows, like the death do us part, sickness in the hell.
Not even. Well, yeah and no, right? I got to see how marriage is a holy path for real, right? Just in regards to learning about love, because it takes a long time to break down all the different false beliefs that we have about love, right? And the thing about a holy matrimony, and it's not to say that you're not going to go through some unholy stuff, right? But when two people are committed and just refuse to quit, what you can learn about yourself, about your partner, and about love in general, you can't really learn by going from one relationship to the next, looking for the honeymoon stage over and over again, right? Specifically, if you're interested in learning about unconditional love, you know? And so I was like, oh, snap. This is what it's about, you know?
So what took place 3 years ago? What was that moment 3 years ago?
I would probably say when Will going through the process of emancipation, and then once he finished emancipation and the stuff that started coming up for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's when he was like, hey, can we get back into some therapy together? And the stuff that was coming up for him and the kind of conversations we were starting to have, I was like, okay, here we are. You know what I mean? I'm like, and everybody starts their journeys in different ways at different times. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I knew. I was like, okay. And then we went to the Oscars and that whole thing happened. And it wasn't, I didn't even think twice about it when I saw what was happening. I was like, I'm not leaving this man's side. I'm not leaving this man's side.
All right, we'll keep it locked. We got more with Jada Pinkett Smith. Her book, Worthy, is out right now, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Jada Pinkett Smith. Charlamagne?
Do you think up until the point of 3 years ago, do you think y'all had just more of a trauma bond?
I would say yes and no. I would say we had a trauma bond, and then underneath of it, there was this real deep friendship, this spiritual bond too. Because you can start breaking through your trauma and start talking through your trauma, and if it's just a trauma bond, once you start to heal and you start going your separate ways, it's done. If it's just a trauma bond, right? But when you can feel that spiritual bind, once you're doing the healing and that spiritual bind is just yoking you tighter, then you know it's something else. You know, and you really have to have the discernment to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you do just have a trauma bond with somebody, and sometimes you just got to get away. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to really like sit with yourself and have the discernment to know the difference.
No, that's real, because sometimes you heal so much, you be like, man, you look around and be like, I don't like nobody.
Right, exactly. That's real talk.
Like none of y'all.
Yeah, straight up, because that's what we do. You know, it's like, and that's part of it too. You know, and that's part of why we have to have the courage, because innately, you know, once you start healing, a whole lot is going to change.
That's right.
You know,
With the Oscars situation, did that save your marriage? And the reason I ask that is, you know, I've been married 22 years. Charlamagne's been married a long time, but your wife will always be mad at you, right? But you can't be mad at him. I could be mad at him. I'm not going to let you tear him down. I can tear him down in the house. So did that save your marriage?
I would say what it definitely did is that it accelerated what I think was already in the process. It was in that moment that I knew. I was like, oh no. Nah. We gonna do this together. I'm gonna be by your side. And I know that I'll never leave your side, right? Because it's funny, because in emotional crisis, I didn't blink. And that's when I knew deep down inside. I'm like,
I love this.
God.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and there's no getting away from him. You've been trying. You don't want to go nowhere. Stop it. And so it was that incident that I knew right away, yo, we in it. And so that was it. But I think that was the trajectory anyway. It just, in an instant, solidified it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, if y'all have been separated all of these years, if you read the book, you realize that, right? And Will never said anything about it. Why did you feel now was the time to reveal that information? Was it just to sell books like some people think?
Oh, no. It's part of the process. You know, it was part of part of my self-worth journey. Like, I had to really, I was leaning on Will in a lot of ways. And I think for women specifically, how a lot of times our relationships are used to identify us. You know what I mean? And so I thought that was a really important process, and so much a really important thing to talk about, because so much of my journey happened in that time when it was just me.
That's right.
You know, and I think that And I also wanted people to realize that sometimes marriages go through breaks like that. You know, and for people out there who are thinking about, yo, should I just get separated? Should I, you know, get a divorce? I'm like, man, just take time for you. Have the courage. If you got the courage to sign divorce papers or, you know, go to lawyers and just have the courage to figure out how to just take time for you and then see what's showing up for you, right? Because sometimes divorce is the answer. Sometimes legal separation is the answer. But first and foremost, just take a year. Take a year, see what shows up, you know, before you start going into like all these other processes. Because sometimes we can act so quickly out of anger and frustration and we just want to get away and we think that's the answer, you know. And in some cases it is, but in some cases it's not.
How did you feel when you talk about the truth, right? And you say a big reason of this book is you can help other people, other marriage, other couples that are dealing with it and don't know how to express it because they've never seen it, right? And the press and the public says, you know, Jada is embarrassing Will. And you just said you were doing it because you wanted to live in your truth. So what do you say to those people that thought that it was just embarrassing Will and dehumanizing him and take it as masculine?
I want to quote Anna Navarro of The View. She said you are emasculating and embarrassing.
Oh, well, I think if she took time to read the book, you know, I think that if you want to just read headlines, I could see how that could be confusing. But the book is right here. You have 2 books you can read, actually.
Yeah,
you can read my book and Will's book, which is so great that a lot of people are doing that. You know, but people have the right to their opinions. And I always know that anybody who's saying that hasn't really done their homework. But you got to expect it too because of what the headlines are, you know, what clickbait is. So Will knows what it is. I know what it is. My kids know what it is. And more importantly, Great Supreme does too. Right? And so that's really all I'm concerned with at the end of the day.
When Will was up here, he talked about being insecure a little bit about Tupac. Did y'all ever have that conversation? Because as a man, when you're a little insecure, I almost feel like you play both sides. You want to be yourself, but you want to show that you're better than the person that's making him insecure. You're tougher than, or smarter than, or more romantic than, or a poet than, a better rapper than. Did y'all ever have that conversation?
I wouldn't say that we had conversations in that way. It was just like, you know, we came up in an era where it was so unusual for a man and a woman to be friends, right? I mean, really think about it. Like that's more of an open idea now, right? But just think, in our era, that was just like friends.
They had to be dating.
Yeah, like what, right? And so I think for him, it was just like getting your mind around that, you know, and that the kind of friendship that we had, because we had such a, you know, tight friendship that, you know, was very impactful on my life. You know, so I think it was just getting the understanding around that Tupac and I could be friends, you know, and that he was a part of my life in that way. And so just, we had a lot of conversations around just those ideas.
How did he get over that?
I think he just realized that, and I really can't speak for Will. You should probably ask him when he comes back. But I think he just realized that that's what it was. You know what I mean? It was like, that's what it was. It's like, you know, that was that beautiful friendship. And I think once he started, as he got older, started having his own friendships with women, like, oh, that is possible.
And how were you with that?
Listen, I always told Will, you need some female friends.
Did you?
Yes, because I think men and women, I think men do need female friends and women need male friends. And I actually think men, once they have daughters.
I got 4. And
you
all
got
female,
4 daughters.
Yeah, I got 4 too.
And majority female friends.
There you go. But I see, I would, now, let me ask you a question. Would you say that having daughters helped you understand.
Absolutely.
And see, I think that's what
Absolutely.
happened to Will. I think once Willow came, you know, and then he started to realize a different relationship with the feminine, right? And then he realized, oh, wow, you know, you can have relationships with women that are non-sexual, or however y'all have to, you know, manage that in your own minds, right? I think once Willow came, she was his teacher on that for sure. And so he was able to have female friends.
All right, we'll keep a lock. We got more with Jada Pinkett Smith. Her book, Worthy, is out right now, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. We're back, and it's The Breakfast Club. DJ NV Charlamagne the God, and we're still kicking it with Jada Pinkett Smith. Her book, Worthy, is out right now. Charlamagne?
In the No Soccer Mom chapter, right, you shoot down every rumor there's ever been about y'all. That y'all are swingers, that y'all were both gay and playing each other's biz, that y'all were sleeping with whomever you choose.
Yeah.
How does it feel in 2023 to still have those same rumors out about people you love, like Will and Dwayne?
I know.
That just came out, too, recently.
Yeah, you know, and let me just say this. It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a shakedown, a money shakedown that didn't work. We're going to take legal action. Because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories. So that's actionable. So we're going to roll with that. You know what I mean? It's not true. We're going to take care of it. And that's that.
So there was a money shakedown prior?
Oh, yeah. It was a money
Oh, they
shakedown.
tried to extort you before? Or?
Well, it's based around this person's idea that they in some way were doing business around Will's book, and that they spent money or what have you, and that they needed to be compensated. So he already tried to do this money shakedown. Will was willing to give him a certain amount or what have you, and he didn't take it. So this whole situation is based on that.
Give him a certain amount. Why, though? Just...
Well, because of some business that they had, and I don't know the complete details about it, but that's about to come out because, like I told you, we're about to take legal action.
Word. You should.
Yeah, no, we are for sure.
I was asking how's Will dealing with it, you know, with...
Oh.
Does he
We saw
laugh
his
it
reps
off?
release a statement.
Will, here's one good thing about Will. Will's always going to find the funny.
I figured that.
Yeah, he's always going to find the funny. You know what I'm saying? And so
y'all laughed at the murder, kill part?
Yeah. You have to because it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so all you have is you just got to laugh about it, you know? And it's unfortunate because...
Did he ask you, like, do I look like I give off bottom energy?
He was like, do you believe this shit? You know, but we just laughed about it.
Gotta ask about Tyrese. Now, there was a rumor that Tyrese called you and said...
Yes.
Oh.
He said he called you on the phone. He was on meds. He was out of it.
Yeah.
And he told you, I ain't no killer. Jada, I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
Oh.
Revenge is like the sweetest joy, and that's getting you don't know why he's
Is
like,
that true?
So Tyrese did call me for sure. And he was definitely in a state. And I was really concerned, you know. And I'm just happy.
Did he quote Tupac though? He said he quoted him and Charlie Mack said he quoted Tupac.
He called Tupac?
No, he said he called you and quoted Tupac.
He may have. Let me tell you something. I was so worried at that time when he made that call about his state because it was really deeply concerning. That I couldn't even tell you exactly what happened because I'm trying to think about who I can get there, who can I get in the house, how can I get him help. Yeah, and so that I was a little panicked, you know, to just make sure that he was okay and that nothing was going to happen. He wasn't going to hurt himself or anybody else. So that I don't even remember
what he said.
What he said.
I want to talk about the book and a debate I had at dinner a couple weeks ago with some friends, because in the book you say that you and Will decided to separate in every way except legally.
Yeah.
And y'all would have complete transparency, no secrets about what y'all were doing and whom y'all were doing it with.
Right.
And the debate we were having was, well, early in the book, she said that they've never been in an open relationship, but isn't that an open relationship?
Well, here's the difference between that. That's when you're in an open relationship and you are still intimate with each other, right? At that point, we went our separate ways. So it's as if we are divorced, separated, and just trying to figure out how we're going to go about it. But at that particular point in time, we were no longer relating in that way, right? Because for us, it was over. It was done. So if you're in an open relationship, that means that you are still in a relationship with one another.
Romantically, some way, somehow, yeah.
romantically, and you are okay with being with other people romantically.
Like y'all was separated.
We were separated. Like, done.
Why did you choose not to say August's name in the book?
Really just I felt like he's been through enough. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to be respectful in that manner. I really did.
Do you feel like that's something that you need to heal, like that situation?
I'm hoping at some point. You know, I'm definitely hoping at some point, for sure. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, too, if you pick a crew to run with in real life, would you choose between the cast of Set It Off or the cast of Girls Trip?
Set It Off.
Oh, that's a hard one. Damn, Charlamagne, that's a hard one.
Set It Off. They was riders.
They were riders for sure. But you know, both crews, they got something real special. Yeah. I'm a plead the fifth on that.
Plead the fifth.
I only got two more questions. Like when you having these conversations now, how do you know, in your words, that this isn't the pseudo guru using rationale and borrowed wisdom to tell you what you want to hear?
Because it sits so beautifully in my heart. Now, what I will say about that is that's why you got to always stay open. Because as we continue to grow and learn, you know, it's Bruce Lee said it best, be like water. You know what I mean? Because that's where I'm sitting right now. Who knows when I come back, if you know what it'll be then. Because we just got to stay open, we got to stay fluid. But for now, it's what speaks to me deeply. You know, and that's all we got, you know, for the moment.
My last question, and it's a quote, right? And the quote is, other people's opinion of you, whether it's good or bad, should not be grounds in which you base your self-worth. Your value is inherent within you. What matters the most is whether you know you are worthy.
That's right.
So do you know you're worthy?
Absolutely. And you know what? It really comes from, and I wanted to say this in regards to the question you asked about self-worth, really dealing with self-judgment. Like once we can cure our self-judgment in a certain manner, right? People's opinion about you can only affect you if you believe it. You know what I mean? Once you really know who you are, once you really know your self-worth, anything that anybody else has to say about you really can't affect you. You know? And so, I know how much work it's taken for me to get to know myself. I can't expect anybody else to know me like that. You know what I mean? So I have to be willing and accept whatever opinions come my way. I get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Jada Pinkett Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Thank you for
appreciate
coming.
you for joining us so much.
Appreciated this conversation
guys.
so much.
Thank you. This was beautiful.
The book Worthy is out right now. Make sure you get it, and thank you.
Thank you.
Don't be a stranger.
No, I won't. Not
all right.
at all.
It's The Breakfast Club. It's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Donkey of the day, yeah, you dumb ass. You get donkey of the day, yeah, you dumb ass.
You are a donkey.
It's time for Donkey of the Day. Donkey of the Day, huh? I'm gonna fatten all that shit around your eye.
They want this man to throw them blows, man. They waiting for Charlamagne to tap these gloves. Let's go.
They had to make a judgment of who was going to be on the Donkey of the Day. They chose you.
Yes. The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Donkey of the Day goes to anyone out there who is reporting stolen property and bribes to the IRS.
What?
Okay, Uncle Charlotte, what the hell are you talking about on this Monday morning? Listen to me, man. I usually tell y'all do whatever the IRS tells you to do, but this one sounds like all the alphabet boys are conspiring to make sure you end up under the jail, okay? This sounds like a coordinated plan between the IRS and the FBI, because if you stole a car in 2021, took a bribe in 2022, the IRS wants you to report it on your taxes, okay? See, what?
A stolen car?
Yes. See, these provisions went viral Monday, I think it was last Monday, after a tweet went out and it said, tax season is around the corner. Remember to report your income from illegal activities and stolen property to the IRS.
What?
Let's go to Fox 5 News for the report, please.
The IRS urges people to report just about everything. The IRS says if you steal, report its fair market value, and if you receive a bribe or get extra cash from illegal activities, make sure to include that in your income as well. For those worried, the IRS won't pass the information to law enforcement. That's because federal tax law prevents federal employees from sharing tax return information.
Okay. Don't get scared now, Miss Pat.
Well, what are you talking about? I got my baby. The IRS done lost their mind. Black folks don't even want to report Cash App and Square.
Exactly.
You gonna ask me to report a stolen car?
Ain't gonna tell you it's not.
And a bribe?
Ain't gonna tell you they not gonna turn it over to law enforcement. Don't you fall for that.
You going to jail? What? Ain't nobody stupid enough to do that.
Nobody.
Nobody with our skin color. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Don't fall for that. All the alphabets right next to each other for a reason, okay? FBI, IRS, CIA, DEA, FB, IG, they all part of the same family. I don't care what anyone says. Don't you trust it. If you steal property, you must report its fair market value in your income in the year you steal it, unless you return it to its rightful owner in the same year. Well, what if you're dealing drugs like Miss Pat used to do? Okay.
What? You gonna stop bringing up my history over there in that King chair, okay?
Jesus.
Looking like you at an old script club.
You also got to report bribes and kickbacks. You hear that, all you DJs and program directors out there taking money to play records? You have to report your bribes and kickbacks.
Don't do that.
Okay? Who in their right mind is about to fall for this? This is not even something you should entertain with a lawyer present, okay? The whole point of committing these crimes is A, to get some money, and B, to get some tax-free money. All right? I've literally been reading Raekwon's memoir from Staircase to Stage all weekend.
Memoir.
You heard what I said. It's my Invisalign. Okay? And I've been reading it all weekend.
You reading with your Invisalign on?
No, it's in my Invisalign.
Well, won't you take them off? You trying to keep them straight, ain't you? That ain't necessary. Can't nobody see you. Take your Invisalign off your top.
I got to wear them at work. Y'all know, I should have just said book. But I've been reading the book all weekend, okay? And he talks about one of the perks of drug dealing is that you got tax-free money, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact quote, but he basically says, why would he get a job, work all those hours, only to give the government half when you can do illegal activities and make all that tax-free money? So, yeah, I know we live in this era where people act all liberated and they want to act like they are accepting of all things, but I'm telling you right now, this is the equivalent of your significant other telling you, just tell me you cheating. I won't get mad. Just go ahead and admit your dirt. Tell me what you did, and it's all good. You ever did that to somebody, Miss Bay?
Not what? I did. I ain't paid no tax on my dope dealing money, but though I went to the skating arena and bought me some Jordans and some Levi's, different color fleet lines. It wasn't the government problem. Hey, the government never helped me bagged up a rock. Yeah. So why would I give them a percentage of it? They didn't stand on that corner. They didn't help me put that dope in my kids' drawers. They didn't help me pull it out of my drawers. You didn't participate in the business, so why should I help you?
Pat. No, that's
he meant. Did you? Never mind.
That's not how it works.
Never mind.
Well, what you meant? You gotta tell me what you meant. Your Invisalign is confusing.
All I'm saying is, don't fall for that. Okay? All right? You think the same government that does nothing but lie to you is going to be truthful with you now? Okay? I'm going to trust the same government that has proven time and time again that they are not to be trusted. Okay? I think they saw how stupid people was with their PPP loans, and they said, what else can we do to get more of them to lock themselves up?
No, let me say this to y'all. If it don't require your social security number, don't report it. That's what I say. Then the PP loan required your social security number. Cause all my friends going to jail for that PPP loan. One of my friends went through a $1.5 million, and they're looking at me like they crazy. Yeah. I know they broke, but I ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
So do you think people should file their crimes on their taxes? Who
the hell did Al Capone file his crime on his taxes? If the whites don't do it, then the blacks don't think of it.
I don't think Al Capone ever filed taxes. That's how they got Al Capone. I don't know. Listen, the only way this would work is if everyone who actually did this was granted immunity from prosecution.
Prostitution?
Prosecution.
Okay, I thought it was prostitution.
That David Invisalign, man.
If there's no legal protection for that, if there's no legal protection that shields them from criminal prosecution for the offenses they report on their taxes, what's the point? If you think this government is about to give a tax return for committing crimes, if you think this government is just going to accept those crimes like legal employment, then go ahead, do your thing. Because I need content for Donkey of the Day anyway.
Hey, I remember back in the day they were asking everybody to turn in their guns to go see Janet Jackson. Y'all remember that in Atlanta? Everybody turning their guns.
No.
Why Janet Jackson? What Janet Jackson and guns got to do with anything?
I don't know what was going on in Atlanta, but they asked everybody to turn in their guns for free concert ticket. Then 2 weeks later, everybody gets shot because they don't turn.
Nobody had no guns. Oh my goodness!
Damn.
Do you remember that?
No.
You look it up. In Atlanta, they were asking you for my Janet Jackson ticket. You turn in your pistol, and everybody got shot the next week. Don't do it.
Listen, please give everybody who will be reporting their stolen property and bribes to the IRS the biggest ER. Because I don't care what Miss Pat says. Some people going to do
That
this.
sound like me in the bed.
What? That hee-haw? Man, shut up, man.
Oh, man.
That's me with my legs up. Charlamagne, that's me with my legs up. When them cramps get to coming.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
I can see your hand on the back of my behind just holding me.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Jada Pinkett Smith. She was on the show earlier. By the way, we have our guest co-host Beezy Baby with us this morning as well. And we were talking about in relationships, marriages, or whatever it may be, your significant other having a friend of the opposite sex. Now, this is what Jada Pinkett Smith said.
When Will was up here, he talked about being insecure a little bit about Tupac. Did y'all ever have that conversation? Because as a man, when you're a little insecure, I almost feel like you play both sides. You want to be yourself, but you want to show that you're better than the person that's making him insecure.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever have that conversation?
I wouldn't say that we had conversations in that way. It was just like, you know, we came up in an era where it was so unusual for a man and a woman to be friends. In our era, that was just like friends.
They had to be dating.
Yeah, like what? Right? And so I think for him, it was just like getting your mind around that, you know, and that the kind of friendship that we had, because we had such a, you know, tight friendship that, you know, was very impactful on my life.
All right, let's discuss what are your thoughts. Let's start with you, Beezy Baby.
I don't know. I feel like relationships with the opposite sex are necessary. Like, how can you just be in this world and just be around people that have the same private parts you have? You may streamline your thinking. You can't really get opposed, you know, feelings or thoughts. So I think it's necessary, but I think you also have to have respect for your partner. Like, I wouldn't marry somebody that didn't trust me in a room without them. So you got to trust that I'm going to put you first and I'm going to honor the vows that I made to you, and that, you know, I'm not going to put nobody in our circle that could threaten what we got. So I don't know.
Yeah, and in my relationship with me and my wife, we don't really trust too many people. So for us, it has to be mutual friends, right? Meaning, you know, we meet them together. Not like Charlamagne said earlier. Like I can't just meet you at the grocery store and now we friends. It's not going to be like that. It has to be some type of establishment, and my wife has to approve, and with her, I have to approve.
Right.
Outside of that, we're not taking no new friends in. It has to be our friends. Like, you know what I mean? I should be able to call that person like you should be able to call that person. It should be a cohesive type of situation. Charlamagne?
Y'all, I never even think about it until this discussion comes up. I got mad homegirls.
But your wife knows them all, right?
Yeah, my homegirls and my wife's friends too. See? In fact, they probably like her more than they like me.
Everybody does.
Like, so I don't even like this discussion is like very it's silly to me. It's immature. You know what I mean?
But a lot of people feel that way because sometimes
they got insecurities and they immature.
Or it's new friends. And sometimes people are not around for the right reason. And
we know this.
And I know, especially, and I hate to say this, a lot of fellas sometimes will try to befriend your girl, not because they want to be your girl's friend. They want to smash.
Well, I'm never trying to befriend nobody. I'm never trying to befriend a man's girl. Like, that's not happening. Like,
a lot of people do that.
There's reasons why, you know, either your friends or your friends, or even these new people who may come into your life, y'all might work together. You know what I mean? Y'all might be doing projects together. Like anytime I'm going to be spending time with anyone, my wife is going to know who that person is. You know what I mean? Whether it's a man or a woman. Hey, we're doing such and such with this individual. Or, hey, we all going out to dinner. We're all going. My wife is going to be there, everybody. Like, there's no woman in my life that's my friend that ain't my wife's friend.
And a lot of people are taking like teenage drama into big age relationships.
That's right.
Like, you know, you had to worry about this stuff in high school. People break up and get together with a new person next week. It's really not the same when you're 40.
If you can't have a platonic relationship with somebody from the opposite sex, something wrong with you, bro.
Let's go to the phone lines. We have Dupree on the line. Dupree.
Man, what's up, DJ Charlamagne and I guess host?
Beezy baby. What's up, Dupree?
Talk to us, Dupree.
Yeah. So I was listening to what Jada was talking about. I definitely got female friends. I don't really hang out with dudes. And my baby mama, who's now my fiance, she don't really be liking it. She be jealous and stuff like that. And they just had a party, and I'm like, and I'm trying to go to the party. She's like, no, you ain't going. They be twerking and stuff. And I'm like, they ain't twerking on me.
Yeah, but why would you bring your baby mama there? Why would you bring her with you?
But see, so when they hit me with the invite, I'm like, since we just got engaged, I'm like, man, I know she don't want to come. And they was like, that's cool, she could come, but she still was feeling some type of way. So I'm like, man, whatever. I end up not going because I end up just going to sleep. I wake up in the morning and look on social media. They definitely was twerking. So it was just like, but that's what they do, though. That's why I like getting around, man. Shout out to the homegirls, man. For real, for real.
But if you had included her in that friendship from the beginning, it wouldn't have been they twerking. It would have been we twerking. It would have been a whole
but I think
twerk party.
Always, but them ain't her friends, though. So, like, I can understand, like, them ain't really your friends, so you ain't gonna really want to be around them girls because you don't know them. But if you have
hold up, bro.
Like,
you supposed to be the bridge between that, though. You
right.
supposed to be the bridge between your friends and your girlfriend, and that should have already been better than it is.
I would say for the most part, she was cool with something like cordial, but
Dupree,
you know, that's on you not wanting to come around. You could have came around.
Even when you called Dupree, you was like, I got the invitation. You was like, damn, you know my wife going, you know I have to bring her. You didn't say, you didn't make it seem like she was invited. It was cool. You made it seem like I gotta bring her because if I don't,
her friends be kicking it. I ain't chilling with them, you know what I mean? You go chill with your friends. These are my friends. This is who I grew up with. I've been knowing them since 7th grade, you know what I mean? We 30 years old now. So it's like at any point in time, you can be like, oh yeah, I've been knew them was your homegirls. I'm gonna go hang with y'all. I done had plenty of girls. I'm kicking it with y'all. You know what I mean? But that's on you that you felt some type of way you never want to come.
Nah.
Yeah, that's on you, man. Like BZ said, you got to be the bridge, bro. Like you, and if those are really your friends, they're gonna absolutely not only want to meet your fiance, they're gonna want to accept her and embrace her as a friend too.
Yeah.
Hello, who's this?
This is Yanni.
Hey, Yanni. Good morning. Talk to us.
Like the egg?
No, like the pianist, not the penis.
Huh?
What? All right, go ahead, Yanni.
Pianist.
Oh,
Yanni.
Pianist Yanni. Okay.
Okay, so my take on this is like I'm a girl that really don't have many female friends because chicks just act funny sometimes. But I believe, like you guys are saying, if you have a friend that you've had for a long time, then everyone should be friends and everyone should be comfortable with it. For a girl, it's easier to have dudes as friends because they're going to think, y'all know how y'all get down, they're going to think one day maybe it might happen, but they're going to still continue to be loyal. I think when a dude has a female friend, it's more like iffy, even if you get to know them. Because this, I don't know, I'm a female, and I know how females get down. So I wouldn't be really comfortable with that. But on my part, I wouldn't have a problem with having my dude friends and knowing my dude, you know,
So you are right with it because you feel like you can control whether or not it goes down because, you know, you giving them access or you're denying access. But when it comes to your man, you feel like he can't control himself. He just, if they open it up, he just diving in.
Well, I'm not saying totally, but, you know, I mean, personally, I just feel like guys got that little extra, okay, maybe, or, you know, let it get a little too close, you know, whisper in his ear, something like, nah, we're not doing that. So, no.
Okay. Thank you, Yanni. 800-585-1051. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, something she said during our interview about men having women friends and women having men friends. We'll discuss when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, Jada Pinkett Smith was here last hour. We were talking about men having women friends and women having men friends, and this is how the conversation started. When Will was up here, he talked about being insecure a little bit about Tupac. Did y'all ever have that conversation? Because as a man, when you're a little insecure I almost feel like you play both sides. You want to be yourself, but you want to show that you're better than the person that's making them insecure.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever have that conversation?
I wouldn't say that we had conversations in that way. It was just like, you know, we came up in an era where it was so unusual for a man and a woman to be friends. In our era, that was just like friends.
They had to be dating.
Yeah, like what? Right? And so I think for him, it was just like getting your mind around that, you know, and that the kind of friendship that we had, because we had such a, you know, tight friendship that, you know, was very impactful on my life.
So we're asking 800-585-1051, what are your thoughts? Now, Beezy Baby is our guest co-host today. She feels like men should have women friends and women should have men friends.
Yeah, you have to. Like, you can't be a well-rounded individual just walking around with a whole bunch of... I don't want to be in a room full of nothing but vagina. You know, I feel like I need... I grew up with all brothers. You know, they teach me things about myself and about men that I need to know. So as I get older... I don't know. I got male best friends, and my husband's cool with that, and I'm okay with him having girlfriends. It's respect.
Absolutely.
Like the caller said earlier, the thing he was saying that, you know, he didn't know if he wanted to bring his fiance around his other friends. I'm totally different. When I go out, babe, you want to come? Because I'm going to have just as much fun with the homies than with my wife as well. Like, if anybody ever seen me out or I've been out anywhere, I bring my wife with me. I have a great time with my wife. I drink, my wife drink. It don't matter. We have a good time. If we go to a strip club, we both tip it. If we go to, I don't know, a casino, we both gambling. Like, we have that much fun.
But it's a little questionable when somebody sends an invite to DJ Envy as opposed to you and your wife. Like, the invite should be coming to both of you anyway.
100%.
Yes.
And that's what I told the dude last time. Like, when he said he didn't want to bring his fiance around his friends. Your friends should not only want to meet your fiance, they should be embracing your fiance and bringing her into the circle of friends with open arms.
Correct. Well, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Lydia.
Hey, Lydia, good morning.
Good morning. I listen to y'all every day. Oh, my God.
Oh, we appreciate it, Mama. What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts is, I believe it's okay for each of us to have guy or girlfriends, as long as they are respectful of the relationship / marriage, because we are married. So, and then I work in the nightlife part-time, so I'm a bartender, waitress, and I have a bunch of guy friends that I work with for years. And when my husband and I first started dating, he was very, like, accepting of everything and everybody, because everybody was, like, cool and respectful. And once I got married, like, everybody was like, nah, she's married, leave her alone. Like, they were very protective of me. So, yeah, and then his homegirls that he's had, there's only ever been one person that I have to be like, she's not your friend, because a girl just knows when somebody's trying to with her dude. So,
but I will say that might change it a little bit too, right? And the reason I say that might change it, if you're working and guys are hollering at you all day long, I think that can make any guy feel a little insecure.
Why?
I just think
he doesn't say anything, like, because they don't touch me, they don't do anything. Like, they can look and they can say what they want to say, and he's not bothered by it, because he knows at the end of the night I'm coming home.
That's right.
With money in my pocket. So,
well, what you're calling being bothered and is actually just called being insecure.
Yes, I said that.
Well, why? So you don't trust your woman?
No, it's not a matter about trusting my woman.
No, it's clearly about not trusting your woman.
But it's just a certain job. So when you're a bartender, most bartenders, I would say a majority of them, when they serve drinks, they flirt a little, right? We've all had a bartender that flirt. Yes or no?
No.
I think you're kind.
You're lying.
I think you're just kind. You're nice to everybody.
Yeah, that's your ego. You think everybody flirting with you. That's your ego.
Light skin, he's light skin,
right?
Red. Do bartenders flirt sometimes?
All the time.
They do.
Red's light skin too.
Ma'am, do you flirt at all with people that buy drinks?
No, I don't.
You're lying.
Can I tell you guys something?
I'm just nice. And then they're like, oh, nice. And then they mistake it for flirting. But I'm like, no, I'm not flirting. And then I have to be mean too. Like,
I want all guys out there to know that's your ego talking. If you think that every girl being kind to you is flirting, and if you think every girl being just nice to you means that they want you, that's all ego, bruh.
Brett?
And you hella insecure if you think that
Brett?
You hella insecure and you don't trust your woman if you think guys hollering at her bothers you.
Brett?
Bartenders definitely flirt.
All the time?
I wouldn't say all the time, but they flirt for sure.
But everybody flirts. Like the lady at Walmart bagging your groceries is flirting.
Lady at Walmart never flirt with me.
She just bagging the groceries.
Lady at
hi.
If you thinking
Walmart never flirt with me.
All she said was hi. Have a nice day.
Oh, that's it for me.
Red, does
What
the
is
lady
wrong
at
with
Walmart
y'all?
flirt with you, Red?
Not that I remember.
Listen, anywhere you go, you're gonna find what you're looking for. So if you go to the bar looking for someone to flirt, that's what she's doing.
Keisha, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Talk to us, Keisha. What's your thoughts?
Me personally, like I said, like Jada said, my immature self wanted to be friends with my man's friends all the time when I was younger. Me now, I don't even care. That's your man. Like, those are your friends. I don't want to be friends with the girlfriends. I don't want to be friends with their wives. Just let me do me. You go have fun with their friends and I'm good.
Yeah, if it happens organically, though.
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't really care anymore. I'm just, I've gotten older. I'm more mature. Like, at this point, if it's beneficial to you, fine. If it's not beneficial to you, cut it out. For me, it's not beneficial, so I don't want any parts of it.
Thank you, Keisha. All right, what's the moral of the story, guys?
The moral of the story is, friends, how many of us have them?
Let's be friends. Before they go any further. All right.
I think the moral of the story is friendship is always a sweet responsibility, never an opportunity.
Amen.
That's what I think.
And it doesn't matter what private parts you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The Breakfast Club, good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Leave us on a positive note.
The positive note is this, man. You are responsible for your life. You can't keep blaming somebody else for your dysfunction.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?